In this one, we're going to discuss keeping smaller cichlids and a little bit about what is it like keeping the bigger cichlids. But what we're going to do is, while we have this discussion, I am going to feature my favourite smaller type Central American, the Amatitlania nanalutus, and we'll do a little update on them while we're there. If you was to ask me right now what my favourite smaller type Central American cichlid, possibly any type of cichlid is, it's the Amatitlania nanalutus. Now, yes, it looks amazing, but probably the thing that's drawn me to this right now is just how hard I found it to get it to work, if that makes sense. And I know there's probably lots of you watching going, this is really easy to keep, but for me, it hasn't been an easy cichlid to keep because I got these probably, start of last summer, and I ordered some online. They came, I ordered 10 and 9 of those were males. So obviously that ratio was never probably going to work. So I had that first. And then they went through a period of time where they started to hide, which I thought, you know, cichlids hide, it's fine. And then I started to lose a few. And that was after I'd already moved 3 males onto billet bill cichlid room. So they were dwindling. I then found some more. So I went to pick them up. That was more female heavy. So I thought, yeah, brilliant. And they took a time to settle in, and they were hiding for a long time. I set this tank up probably three, maybe a little bit more months up ago. And I put loads of hides in there and I just left them. I thought if I just leave them, it's the best thing to do. Because I have had cichlids like this. We all get fish that some of us find them easy to keep, some of us it's a bit more of a struggle. But that's drawn me to them, if I'm honest with you. And now they're getting to a point where they're a little bit more outgoing. Now, I'll be dead honest with you. I had to film this footage, put food in the tank and get out the way. Because if I walk around my fish room, they tend to hide. If I go and sit in a chair in my fish room, they'll come out. So they're still not quite there. I did put some super red swordtails in to help bring them out, and I do think they worked. I've not had any breeding activity, obviously, right now because they're not fully settled, but I have had a couple of pairs forming. Now, we've got 3 males and 5 females, so there's a good ratio in there. And anyway, the subject, I thought I'd do a little update on them, obviously, because they're such a great fish. But the part of this subject we're going to discuss as well is, are these the future for cichlid keepers? Because no, I don't mean the Amatitlania nanalutus, I mean smaller type cichlids. Because if we're open and honest to themselves, so I've been open and honest to myself, and I've looked at my fish room and I've gone, right, these are the biggest tanks I can get in here. And I know I've talked about it before. What are the biggest fish really ideally I can put in those tanks? And right now, with the tanks I've got, my biggest tanks are 125 US gallons, which is about 450 litre UK. The biggest fish that I will have in there is an Amphilophus, and that's pushing it. So I've got my Midas and my Trimac. My Midas is about 13 inches and my Trimac is about 11 and a half. And I'm looking at those 2 fish thinking the tanks are not big enough. So I am not going to go over that size for any fish. So, you know, especially the people who watch me for a long time, I would love a doveye. I would love nothing more than a doveye, honestly, but I can't put one in the fish room that I have right now. So if you are one of those fish keepers and you're trying to stick these bigger cichlids in tanks that are not big enough, why don't you consider the smaller type? Because they've got the same personality, they've got the same aggression, they've got the same colours. Honestly, it's like keeping smaller versions of those fish. They're great to breed. You know, I've got quite a few smaller type cichlids now, and I think possibly going forward, that's where I'll end up. Listen, for as long as I can keep Trimax, I'll keep Trimax. On that stand in my fish room where I've got a 7-foot space, I am eventually either going to put a bigger 5-foot or a bigger 7-foot in there, and it will house, fingers crossed, a pair of Trimac. Okay, so I would not go any higher than that. I wouldn't personally, you know, be looking at bigger type cichlids. I will be looking at smaller type. But again, guys, I will reiterate what I said. consider keeping these, because these are, I've got 8 of these in a 4-foot tank. It's a 4 foot by 15 by 20, right? I could possibly keep all 8 in that tank forever. I'm not going to, because I still think that 8 would be too many, but you know, I don't know what I'll do, but you know, I could keep I could keep 2 pairs possibly in there, and they'd be okay. And you know, you're talking about a 4-foot tank, you're talking about a 60-gallon tank. I've got the macula pinnis, I've got the Jack Dempseys, I've got lots of fish that don't grow over 10 inches, and I still, when I say smaller type Central Americans, I'm talking about the ones that don't probably get over 7 inches. You know what I mean? So yeah, consider it. Honestly, it's well worth considering. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave that there. I just thought I'd plant that seed. Come at me in the comments. Tell me what your opinions are, what you think. And I just wanted to show you my favourite smaller type Central American cichlid right now. Hopefully we'll get some spawning soon. Who knows? But anyway, guys, I just want to say a massive thank you for all the interactions and the subscriptions. It means a lot. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. It's free of charge. You press the subscribe button, you ping the bell for notifications. If you get fed up of me and I start boring you, you just click that button again and you're gone. Simple as that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to sign off and I will see you all on the next one.